Why is it that, because I grew up, this is another reason why I'm super happy that you guys are here. I grew up during university. I was in the hospitality industry as well. I started off as a busboy. I became a waiter. I was a bartender. Worked at Yule Orchard, Marlowe's back in the day. Like I worked at all these places.
Yeah, chops.
And I worked in restaurants for 4 years during that time. So I have a very good idea of what goes on. What is it about head chefs and in general, because I don't want you obviously to talk shit about your own team, they're nuts a lot of the times. Why is that? Why is it like notorious for cooks or head chefs to be crazy?
I mean, I'll take that opportunity to talk about your brother Matt. I did not realize that was his background that you mentioned. That's incredible. That's a real resume that your brother has.
Yeah,
I'm super impressed. And I will also say, I mean, Alex will speak better to that, but I've never seen Matt. I've never seen the Satay kitchen go nuclear at any time, and I tend to keep an eye on it. They've got a great culture. But I will say, I think in our environment, which you've seen it, it's high pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hot. It's a physically demanding environment.
Of course.
It's hot.
Yeah.
You're in tight areas, and you need to be able to dance. You need to be both on the floor and in the kitchen. You need to be quite nimble. You need to know how to move very efficiently, and you need to know how to read the body language of your teammates. Like it's a real synchronicity, and I think when things aren't going exactly as you want, and clients are paying a certain amount of money, and you have to get really good food out in a certain amount of time, at this in sync with your other line mates, it's a lot of pressure, and it's just intense. It's a shift might be 10 hours. You might only be cooking for 5, but like that 5 hours it's full speed, and it's people who care a lot. If you're going to have a career in hospitality, you need to care, especially at a place like either Tuck Shop or Satay Brothers. I think that's what distinguishes both of us, is that our staff
I think
care.
it's a lot of passion,
passion. Passion is a good way of putting it.
There's a lot of pressure about, like, if a customer chooses like your restaurant out of 3,000 restaurants in Montreal to go have a meal, I always tell the staff, like, we got to be grateful they come, and the chefs feel that pressure of like making sure that every dish goes out is like
to
up
their
to
standards,
par to what people come to like expect from your place. And I think that if you look at the kitchen, sometimes it could seem kind of like rough, like the way that people are talking to each other, but you're busy. There's like 30 tickets on the pass. You can't be like, can I have a mi goreng, please? You're like, migo 3 now, rendang, and it's just like, it's fast paced, but it's service.
Yeah.
Like our chef CJ is like, he's amazing, and like as soon as he can, he's like planning what he's cooking for the guys after, and everybody has a meal together after, and you get through like a intense service, but then once you're done, it's like service is done. It's a whole different ball game, because
it is really intense, that actual service. Let's say it's 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. I remember it too, and this is just as being a waiter, which I don't think is as much pressure as being an actual kitchen guy, but some of those times, like on a Friday night, it's intense. And like even as a waiter, I used to remember going after the shift was done and going to bed, and I'd have nightmares about forgetting particular plates for 100%. Specific tables and stuff, and I couldn't sleep as well, and I couldn't. It's just, and I feel like a lot of waiters have had that exact same dream, like, oh my God, table 24, they didn't get their beer or something.
I mean,
like that.
I can say, like, we were talking about the back of house and kitchens, and that is one set of pressures, and especially the physical environment does play a role. I will say, the service, the being on the floor at Tuck Shop is intense.
It looks intense.
I'll say that. You gotta have a top gear, and you have to. Both the front and the back is a ballet, and it's not just about knowing the steps. It's about making you are held to a certain standard, not just by ownership, but by your colleagues. And I think that's something that, again, I see in both of our restaurants, is you don't want to let anyone down. You're in the weeds, and you gotta get her done, and it's all about being in sync and helping each other out, and kind of just getting to the end of the evening while also simultaneously offering the best product and the best experience to your clients. I mean, service, I find in Montreal, is working on a service team, whether it's in the back or the front, it's on another level than anywhere else, because you have to. You're in a city where le joie de vivre is part of our cultural identity, and that's something has to be exemplified by every position in a restaurant. So everyone feels that everyone feels that pressure, but I think what's important is you try to develop a culture where that's not a pressure that you need to take home at the end of the day. You know, we're not saving lives. We're just trying to
Yeah.
show everyone a good time.